Hey, how are you doing? Oh, I'm great. LOL. But they really are depressed and they need someone to talk to. So that's what was happening is, we would go to family functions, we would meet up with friends, and they would act as if everything was okay. And I'm just observing all of this as a young kid. So I wanted to talk to them about what was going on and about everything I was observing, but I was told to stay in my place and to mind my business and to stay out of grown folks' business. So what ended up happening was I stole a notebook from 7-Eleven. I didn't have any money. I was a young kid. This was about seventh grade, and I didn't want to tell my parents that I wanted another notebook because they would ask questions. So I had this all these emotions brewing and this trauma and this confusion, but I wanted to let it out, and I didn't feel comfortable talking to other people about it at school or my family. My extended family, they led were led to believe that we were just perfect and everything was good. We were living in the suburbs of Chicago, but everything wasn't good. So I ended up stealing a notebook from 7-Eleven so I could really heal, honestly. And in that notebook, I started writing my observations of their relationship, their tone of voice. I started really studying their communication, and I started writing different quotes about things that they were saying to each other, things they should say to each other. And really, I just at a young age in seventh grade, I just started introspecting and really just diving in to watching them and learning from them. And it really spawned a lot of my curiosity with human behavior, and communication specifically. And so as I went to college, I played football, ran track in high school. But as I went to college playing Division I football at Northern Illinois University, I was interested in football highly. But again, that was also a coping mechanism. Playing sports was coping. It was a way for me to not be in the house, for me to take care of my body because I was trying to get my mind right pretty much my whole life. I wanted to get my mind right. So between writing and sports, athletics is really what saved my life through some of this this very dark time of my life. And as I get to college, that's when I started getting more of a formal education around communications, and I started really understanding because they teach you things about the communication model. We're learning things about psychology, about why people process information the way they process. Started learning about things like Stockholm syndrome, and just started really learning about pain and how to deal with pain and how to adapt to it, uh, as well as communication, effective ways to communicate through reading, writing, you know, a format like podcasting, speaking, or the art of oration, and then as well as putting together books because I love doing papers. I love writing papers, and I loved writing books about theories about human behavior and how we could optimize our experience. So really, when you look at my life, at least in my opinion, every situation that I've been in uh, really has helped me build myself as a writer because I've have a lifetime of stories and of ideas and of observations. It's something I've always been into. Even if I was, let's say I was like a district manager at Target, I still would have this burning to desire to really like dive into the psychology of behavior. Even for example, I did do sales for a little while. I was doing sales before I became an entrepreneur and started my book business and everything. And all that is sales is literally psychology. Everybody wants to buy stuff, but nobody wants to be sold. So the salesperson has to figure out, how do I connect this customer to a product without making them feel like I'm some like sleazy salesperson. That is psychology. And there's a pillar of that if you look at that, and it's the same thing as, for any guys listening, you're trying to sell yourself to a girl. You want a girl to go out on a date with you. You're literally selling yourself by, it's the same thing. Everybody wants to buy stuff, but nobody wants to be sold. So how do I convince this woman or show her or present that we need to go on a date? We need to get some lunch. We need to get some dinner without making it seem like this extravagant ploy to gain her courtship. So really, like everything in life, even if you go on a job interview, it's I have to convince these people that I have enough value to do this job so they can hire me so I can, take care of my finances and my family and everything else that I want to do in life. Like really everything in life is psychology, sales, and understanding other human beings. Every single thing we do. And I just found that to be so important. As a football player, as a writer, I just every role I've had in my life, I just have found that it is very important that we have the self-awareness to introspect on, who we are not, as well as what's our environment, what's going on, and then how can we impact or influence that environment.
So it sounds like your passion is centered around writing, sharing those stories. And tell me a little bit more why that's important when we are trying to become better. We're trying to optimize our experience or trying to go from being a judger of our experiences or a judge of others and really become that observer.
Yeah, so that is duality, right? The duality of judging versus observing, and neither is right, neither is wrong. They both are valid. One thing that I try to get my readers and listeners to understand is that we have multiple dualities throughout life, and we are given a framework that we need to be yes or no. We need to be true or false. We need to be black or white. We need to be in the fence or on the other side of the fence, and that's simply not true. It's simply not true. Uh, you have to, in my opinion, you have to embrace the dualities of life. Like you can be a great mother and a great mom, but you may want to go out on Friday night with your girls and dance and maybe have a couple of shots, maybe two shots, dance. I don't know, whatever, you may have a great fitness routine, right? Great fitness routine. You're sharp on your diet. You eat so perfect, but then, maybe Saturday night you're banging two full pizzas by yourself, right? It's like it's a balance. Like life is a balance. And that's one thing that I think you heal, and I think you go to the next level of your life once you realize that I do need to judge some certain things, right? Because when you judge certain things, one of the big practices that I talk about is setting healthy boundaries. Like I can judge that this situation is wrong for me. Now I can set a healthy boundary so I can heal, so I can live the life that I want without the stress, without the worry, without friends trying to influence me to do things that don't align with me, or without anxiety. Like once you have healthy boundaries set, you heal. Your life is healed. Like you heal every day with healthy boundaries, right? But then from an observant standpoint, before you get to judging it, you do have to observe yourself with self-awareness, and you have to be honest. How does it make me feel, right? That's an observation question I always tell my readers to ask themselves. How does this make me feel when I go talk to this person? How does this make me feel while I'm talking to them? How does this make me feel when I leave this conversation, right? And it's an intuitive process of observing, right? And then you get the information, you get the data. Well, when I talk to this person, I feel like crap. Why? Is this an isolated incident, or is this consistent? No, no, it's just an isolated incident. Okay, well, was it me or was it them? What was going on with me that day? Oh, well, I slept in too late. I didn't get up till 10:30. I didn't get my morning routine, so my energy was super off with them. Okay, well, damn. Well, now I know I probably should apologize to them for not bringing my best self, or at least acknowledge that I was low energy. Oh, let's go back. It was them. Oh, what was it about them? Maybe they were a little too abrasive. Maybe they didn't respect boundaries that I've already set in place, and that threw my energy off. Right. And so that's what I teach is how to do like that introspective observing journey, so you can gain the information and then transitioning that to, hey, we need to make a judgment with the type of culture we want, how we want to live, and I have a course called the Deep Healing course. I teach that in the course, specifically the part about, setting the healthy boundaries. Without healthy boundaries, we don't go anywhere in life. We don't go anywhere in life. We just get used, abused, we get tossed around, we get treated how we want. We need to have healthy boundaries. And those healthy boundaries, they first start within. That's the first layer of healthy boundaries. And then the second layer of healthy boundaries is your external world. You can never worry about the external world until you've done the work with your internal world. You have to start there. You have to start with the internal world.
So you have to start with the internal world and then work on the outside